Hello, this is the January 2015 video edition of the Iowa General Fund Monthly Revenue Memo. My name is Jeff Robinson, Senior Fiscal Analyst for the Iowa Legislative Services Agency, the nonpartisan support agency of the Iowa Legislature. Net general fund revenue declined 5% in January when compared to January 2014. Net revenue decreased $30 million, with sales and use tax, individual income tax estimate payments, and corporate income tax providing the drag for the month. However, each of the three revenue sources was negatively impacted by calendar comparison issues. First, January 31st fell on a weekend this year, with February 1 being a major due date for sales and use tax remitters. January ending on a weekend likely pushed $31 million of overall revenue and $20 million of that number as sales tax deposits into February this year. If this turns out to be the case, instead of posting a negative 6.7% rate of growth for January, the monthly sales and use tax change was likely positive 5%. Second, a delay in the remittance of deposit of fourth quarter individual income tax estimate payments made last January's estimate payment deposits about $25 million higher than they would normally be. This issue more than accounts for the January 2015 decline. And third, corporate tax revenue is always very choppy, with large month-over-month comparison differences very common. Last year, corporate income tax expanded $27 million in January, so a $15 million January 2015 decline perhaps is expected. Turning to the fiscal year to date, net revenue for the year has increased $152 million, which equates to a 4.1% increase. This chart provides general fund growth on a cash year basis by major net revenue category. The time frame for the chart is July 1 to January 31st. On the right side, you see that overall net growth is $152 million. Income tax withholding has contributed $106 million to the revenue growth, and sales and use tax accounts for $66 million. The only other categories of positive growth year to date are lower other refunds, which are mainly corporate tax refunds, and a reduction in the transfer out of the 6th cent of sales tax to the school infrastructure account. Both of these items provide a positive to net revenue growth. At 4.1% year to date, total net receipt growth is below the current revenue estimating conference projection for the year of 6.8%. With adjustment for about $31 million in expected January 31st revenue deposited in February this year and mentioned earlier, year-to-date revenue growth is likely around 5%. In summary, net revenue growth in January was negative, but the one-month downturn was due to several deposit timing issues, and without those issues, growth would have been positive. However, even with adjustments for the January 31st deposit issue, growth remains noticeably below current revenue expectations. To meet the estimate for the current fiscal year, revenue will have to expand at a faster rate over the remainder of the fiscal year. The filing of individual income tax returns this spring will need to provide a good boost for revenue to meet current expectations. Goodbye, thank you, and please check out the next monthly video memo in early March.